In this video, we are going to examine fraction subtraction story problems and tune our focus into reference units. Let's start with an example. Justin had 3/4 of a pizza left over. He ate 1/3 of his leftovers today for dinner. How much pizza is left now? So to solve this problem, I know I need to subtract 1/3 from 3/4. So here is his 3/4 of a pizza leftovers. Then I'm going to take away 1/3 of the pizza, and it leaves me with this amount here. I don't know the exact way to quantify that amount, except to say that it is a little more than the 1/3. So in order to be precise, I need to make equal size parts. 12ths are a way I can represent 1/3 and 3/4 easily, and this allows me to see that he has 5/12 of a pizza left. I can count out 5 now that I have split it into 12ths. What I did visually was find a common denominator and solved 3/4 minus 1/3 and got 5/12 as my answer. While that is the proper way to subtract 1/3 from 3/4, it is not the correct way to answer that particular word problem. Let me explain more. If you look at 3/4 minus 1/3, it can really be understood as representing the values of 3/4 of 1 minus 1/3 of 1. So the way we solved on the previous slide was 9/12 of 1 minus 4/12 of 1 equals 5/12 of 1. The reference unit was 1, or 1 whole pizza, for all of the fractions. However, let's look back at the word problem closely. It says Justin had 3/4 of a pizza left over. Here, the 3/4 refers to 1 whole pizza, so he had 3/4 of 1 pizza. He ate 1/3 of his leftovers today for dinner. Here, the 1/3 is referring to his leftovers. We know the leftovers are 3/4, so he ate 1/3 of 3/4. The correct way of subtracting, based on the wording of this story problem, is 3/4 of a pizza minus 1/3 of 3/4, which is 1/4 of the whole, and we are left with half of a pizza. To be more precise, like in the earlier part of this video, I can make 12ths and say he ate 3/12 of the pizza for dinner and he has 6/12 left now. Let's look at the differences encountered due to the reference units in the problem. So in the first method, we ignored the words in the problem and assumed that both fractions had a reference unit of 1. So Justin ate 1/3 of 1 pizza, which means 4 slices were eaten and 5 slices were left. In the second method, we looked closely at the words and saw that the 1/3 referred to 1/3 of his leftovers, which were 3/4 of a pizza. So he ate 1/3 of 3/4, which was 3 slices, and he has 6 slices left. As you can see, the reference units matter and influence the way a word problem is to be solved. So how can you avoid this common mistake and ensure that you are working with the correct reference units? My first suggestion is to clearly note the reference units. For example, Karen measured 3/4 cup of flour. The cake recipe only calls for 1/3 cup of flour. How much extra flour did she measure out? Here, the 3/4 is 3/4 of 1 cup of flour, and the 1/3 is also referring to 1/3 cup of flour. Therefore, 3/4 minus 1/3 can be used to solve this problem. Another suggestion is to notice the use of different story problem types. Remember, there are join, separate, part, whole, and compare problem types, and each of those has variations within it. So a comparison problem, for instance, is usually a great context for noticeable reference units. For example, Jake ate 3/4 of his large fries, and Erica ate 1/3 of her large fries at Burger Mania. How much more did Jake eat than Erica? Here, the 3/4 and the 1/3 refer to a large fry order at Burger Mania, and 3/4 minus 1/3 can be used to solve. So when writing or solving fraction story problems, make sure that you're cautious with the reference unit wording and that you realize what the fractions are referring to and solve accordingly.